Yeah.
There was only one coaching change in the entire Big Ten this offseason, and it belongs to the Illinois Fighting Illini. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, breaking down the firing of Lovie Smith at Illinois and their hiring of Bret Bielema. We're going to break down where things went wrong and what to expect from Bret Bielema in 2021, analyzing this hire and, of course, giving it a grade when it is all said and done. So first, let's take a look at why Bret Bielema is now coming in, returning to the Big Ten, this time with Illinois. You look at Lovie Smith. He was fired back on December 13th. They fired him with one game left remaining on their schedule, going 2-5 in 2020. And Lovie Smith, guys, when this hire happened a few years ago, when this hire happened about 5 years ago, I remember thinking to myself, this could be a home run hire for the Fighting Illini. They're bringing in Lovie Smith, who went to a Super Bowl with the Chicago Bears when he was the head coach of the Chicago Bears, was at one point the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're bringing a guy in with tons of NFL head coaching experience. Was he great? No, but he wasn't downright awful, and I thought this could be huge for a program that is really struggling, really struggling. And I was wrong. It was not huge. If anything, it was detrimental to the state of Illinois football. Lovie Smith going just 17-39 in 5 years with the Fighting Illini, went just 10-33 in Big Ten conference play, never had a winning season, did not record one winning season. The best thing that he did was getting Illinois to their first bowl game since 2014. That happened in 2019. They lost to California in their bowl game to finish 6-7, and of course, a major reason they got there, they needed 6 wins, they got it. One of those wins was a major upset, a 1-point upset victory over what was then number 6 Wisconsin, that game occurring in Champaign. So only one bowl appearance, no winning seasons, 5 years, it was time to move on. And it was especially time to move on because there were very high expectations for Illinois football in 2020. Yes, the Big Ten starting late didn't help. Yes, the pandemic did not help. But Illinois got to their first bowl game since 2014. They returned almost all of their production from that team in 2020. People thought, not that they were going to contend for the West or anything, but, oh yeah, they're definitely a bowl team, no doubt about it. We didn't believe that. We didn't think the schedule lined up for it to happen, and we turned out to be right. Going 2-5, 2-6 when it was all said and done. So Lovie Smith, he got the boot. He's out of Champaign. The Fighting Illini decided to bring in Bret Bielema. And I'm telling you, this to me is a very underrated hire. It's certainly not the flashiest of hires. It's not the best of hires. But when it's all said and done, this has a chance to be one of the more underrated hires that we've seen from this offseason. And I'll tell you why. You look at Bret Bielema. He knows this Midwest area. He knows Big Ten country extremely well. I mean, that's where he grew up. He grew up in that area. Grew up in, I believe it was Iowa. Played at Iowa when he was there. Played college football at Iowa. Grew up there. Big old country boy. And then got into the coaching ranks and spent 7 years as head coach at Wisconsin. Spent 7 years in the Big Ten as the head coach at Wisconsin. Spent the majority of his prior head coaching career, playing career in that Midwest part of the country. And at Wisconsin, guys, he was extremely successful, going 68-24 in those 7 years from 2006 to 2012. And that included winning 3 straight Big Ten titles. Not just getting there, but winning 3 straight Big Ten titles from 2010 to 2012. So he knows the area extremely well. He recruited extremely well there. He continued Wisconsin's mantra of we're going to bully you up front, that ground and pound attack, and it continued to work year in and year out for Wisconsin. It still does, now under the leadership of Paul Chryst. Following his tenure at Wisconsin, he jumped ship, decided to take on a bigger challenge in the SEC as the head coach at Arkansas. And he tried to implement that ground and pound attack at Arkansas and produced some solid talent there. Alex Collins, Jonathan Williams. He produced some solid backs, but it was just never going to work in the brutal SEC West. Bielema in the SEC going 29-34 with the Razorbacks, going just 11-29 in SEC conference play. But he did have 3 straight winning seasons for the Razorbacks from 2014 to 2016, won back-to-back bowl games in 2014 and 2015. He, for a brief moment of time following the horrible Bobby Petrino incident in 2012, stabilized the Arkansas football program. And then it went back under with Chad Morris, trying to get back up on the way with Sam Pittman. Following his time at Arkansas, where he was fired at the conclusion of the 2017 season, he moved on to the NFL. And this is where things get interesting, guys, and why this hire could be beneficial. Not just because of his head coaching experience elsewhere at Arkansas and Wisconsin and his knowledge of Big Ten country, but he went and worked with the New England Patriots. Which means he was working under and with the best head coach, arguably in NFL history, in Bill Belichick. In 2018, he was just a defensive consultant to Belichick and the Patriots. In 2019, he was New England's defensive line coach. After that, he jumped ship, went to the New York Giants, was their outside linebackers coach in New York. So he has head coaching experience in the Big Ten, head coaching experience in the SEC, and he has worked at two different teams, one of which was with one of the greatest dynasties and greatest coaches we've ever seen, worked in the NFL for 3 years. It's a lot of knowledge, it's a lot of experience for Bret Bielema, who, again, is not a bad coach. He isn't a bad coach. I think everybody gave him a bad rap following his time at Arkansas, but again, that just style of play was just never going to work. It was a questionable hire to begin with when he came to Fayetteville in 2013. So the NFL experience will be huge. The head coaching experience will be huge. And his ability to recruit within that Midwest region, the ability to recruit the big men up front, to try to implement, again, that style of play that he wants, that same style of play he tried to run at Arkansas, same style of play that he had at Wisconsin with the big men up front, ground and pound run game, mediocre quarterback behind him. That's what he's going to try to bring to Illinois. And that's something that could work, very well could work, in the Big Ten West, where he'll face off against former team Wisconsin, where he'll face off against Nebraska and Minnesota and Iowa, his alma mater. So plenty of opportunities there for Bret Bielema. Another reason why this job, I think, was so desirable for him. You take a look at the grade here. What are we going to give Bret Bielema on this grade? What do we think? How do we think Illinois did bringing in Bret Bielema here? And I'll tell you right now, I give this coaching hire, I give it a solid B. I think it's an above average hire. I'm going to give it a B, just solid. No B plus, no B minus, just B. Again, this is not an elite hire. Bret Bielema is not one of the collegiate elites. He's had a very good run, especially at Wisconsin, but he's no Ryan Day right now, Nick Saban. I wouldn't even rank him as one of the best coaches in the Big Ten. But the style of play is going to work better in the Big Ten than it did in the SEC. There's no doubt about it. Learning under Bill Belichick is going to pay off much more than people think it will. Kind of the same thing we said with Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian. That little bit of time they spent with Nick Saban in Alabama has paid off huge for them in landing solid jobs, and for both of them, I expect to be great success down the road, with Sarkisian now at Texas and Lane Kiffin now at Ole Miss, where he will face Saban every single year. So I do believe the style of play will work. I do believe Bielema's ability to recruit within the region is going to work. And I do believe that by 2023, so give him 2 years, by 2023, if not earlier, he can have Illinois as a perennial bowl team. And if I'm a Fighting Illini fan, that's all I want. Illinois, you would hope Bielema can change this, but Illinois is not in the position right now, and with powers rising in the Big Ten, the style of play across the country changing, Illinois is not in a position to really contend for the Big Ten West year in and year out. I'm not expecting that. But if Bielema can get them to 6, 7, maybe even 8 wins consistently, I think Illinois fans are going to be very, very happy with that. And there's no doubt in my mind that Bielema can do that. He does that, you have nothing to complain about. Every now and then you have a year where you break out 9, 10 wins. Maybe you are contending for a division crown, but being a perennial bowl team and stabilizing this Illinois team, again, only 2 bowl appearances since 2014, that's got to be Bielema's first point of emphasis. And I think he can do that very, very soon, within the next year or two, before he really starts to take off. So a B higher for Bret Bielema. Obviously fitting, we're going to give him a B for Coach B, but B higher in Champaign. Keep an eye on the Fighting Illini guy. They're going to pull off a handful of upsets down the road, and they will be a perennial bowl team very, very soon. So guys, thank you for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. Also, make sure to check out everything down in the description below. We've got exclusive college football content to get you through this offseason. Check out our website, thegridironexpert.com, and our Patreon account as well. Don't miss out on any of that. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.